All right. Okay, so we're going to go through the first assignment. For the first assignment, you need to find Photoshop. Okay, if it's not there on your doc, the easiest way to find Photoshop is to go up here to the top right-hand corner to the magnifying glass and type in Photo. Okay, you're going to see a few. There we go. Photoshop CS4 is the one you want. Okay, Photoshop is going to open and it might say, hey, you need to register. Just hit cancel, don't register, don't ask me again. Okay, it's going to automatically open up what I've had open in the last classes. So I'm just going to redo one from scratch. Don't worry if yours doesn't pop up like this. It's going to be different for everybody. So what you probably will have is something that just looks like this. Obviously not my background, etc. Okay, so it'll just look like this outside here. And so we're going to do a few things to Photoshop. The first thing we do is go File, New, and that's for this new assignment, the name assignment number 1. We'll type in name assignment. Okay, and we said before the width is 11 inches. The height is 8.5 inches. Resolution is 72 pixels per inch. Make sure it's not pixels per centimeters. The easiest way to find out if you did it right is to go to image size, like it should just show here, 1.39 M, which is megabytes. We'll hit OK. And then this little button is very important. Okay, so we can click and drag, and that shows us that this is just basically a piece of paper. The gray represents the edges, so we can see I want to always work inside the piece of paper. If it's too zoomed in or zoomed out, you won't actually see it. That's another good tip. Zooming in, Command plus zooms in, Command minus zooms out. I always like to be able to see my entire page, so I just go like this. Again, you guys will not have the rulers automatically set up unless you've done it before. So how to get the rulers, you hit Command R. That turns on and off the rulers, but yours might be a funky number because it'll be in centimeters right off the bat. So if you just right click on the rulers itself, it'll give you all of these, and you just click inches. Okay, and then if I'm not sure if I made the size right, it'll show me right here. 11, okay, that was my width, and then 8.5. Right here's my height. Perfect. Okay, so I know everything's good for me to start. So for this assignment, like I said, all I want to do, I already have one done here, I think. Oh, I did. Basically, all I want to do is get everything on the same page. I want to make some sort of background. I want to get an image of myself, and I want to write. Okay, so I'm going to start off by making the background. The first thing to know is these are all the tools. These are things we use in Photoshop. So whenever you see this little black triangle, that means, hey, there's something hiding underneath it. Okay, so a paint bucket tool. We're pretty familiar with paint bucket tools. If you click up here to swatches, it'll give you a whole bunch of different colors. So let's say I want to make it purple. Awesome. Just click on it, purple. Perfect. But there's another cooler one that you might enjoy a little bit more. If you click and hold on that paint bucket and go back to this gradient tool, you're going to get a lot of cool things happen. So up here is where you can kind of change. So if I just click it, it says, hey, what do you want to change? And I can change, it'll look what colors I have selected. So for example, the first one's purple, but I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to go to rainbow and just hit OK. And you can also play with these. So I just want you to kind of play around, and you'll see click and drag, and the bigger you drag, the bigger it'll make it. Okay, and if I'm clicking on these, okay, I can make some really funky backgrounds. Awesome. So let's say that is my super duper background. I love it. It's perfect. Okay, but now I want to write some text. I want to write my name. So all I do is touch this T here. Okay, and up here it kind of shows you different things like your fonts. You can pick different fonts. You could pick different sizes. Okay, for example, you want something really big. And all I'm going to do is just click on the screen. I'm not going to click and hold to make a box. Just click on the screen and you're going to see, okay, hey, it's this big. If that's not big enough for you, you might want to change it. Okay, because you're going to see right away what that does. So I'm going to put it to 72, and here's my color. I don't want it to be purple. I want it to be white. So I'll just hit OK, and then I'll start typing. And I'd like you to type your name. So I'll just put Mr. Gobet. Awesome. Okay, and now it's going to always, like, it's going to be able to move with our move tool. But the move tool is another super common, super popular tool we use. Okay, so here's our move tool. And now you can see here in our layers, we have a locked background layer. You can tell it's locked by this little lock here. Mr. Gobet T layer. T means text. Okay, so you always have to kind of know what layers you're on. So if you want to hide a layer or get rid of it, if you don't want to see it, you just click on the eyeball. Okay, now it shows. So the next thing we want to do is to get a picture of ourselves from the computer into this image. This is where it gets a little bit complicated. So what I'm going to do is open up Photo Booth. If you have it on your dock, you can open it. Or if you don't know where it is again, go up to the magnifying glass, type in PHO, and you'll see Photo Booth pops up. Okay, and it's going to be dark, so it might not work perfectly. Okay, obviously it's too dark for me to do mine. I already have one on my desktop though, so I'm just going to open it up. Actually, I'll show you the process. So after you take a picture, all you would do is click, drag, and hold. For example, this picture, say this is actually a video, but if it's a picture, all I do is click on it.
You can see the timer going, and then when you're
there you go. Okay, I would just click, drag, and hold and drop it on my desktop. Okay, I will show you where I have mine already. And here you go. Here's one. Perfect. I've already kind of worked on that one. Let's see if I have a different one. Let's say, okay, we'll use this one. So I'm just going to open it up. If you don't know how to open up a file in Photoshop, you just go up to the top here in Photoshop, go File, Open, and you find it. So I always put mine to my desktop. That's where you should have dragged it. Okay, and there it is. I'm going to open it up. Perfect. Hey, awesome. There it is. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to edit it just a little bit. So I just want the picture of me in my image. I don't need all this background stuff. So I'm going to go to my eraser, which is just above my gradient tool. Click on it, and then it knows I want to erase. But if I try to erase, it's just going to give me this weird white background. I don't want that. So you have to actually go to your background layer, click on that, and right-click, and go Layer from Background. Okay, I'll show you why this is important. Now when I erase, I get this cool checkerboard pattern. Okay, so the checkerboard basically means that there's nothing there. It's going to be see-through. If I just erased and it turned white, it's actually going to be white when I drag it over. Okay, so I'm just going to erase this really quickly and show you the next step, the final step in the assignment. Okay, I'm doing a really brutal job, and you're going to do an awesome job because you're going to take your time. Okay, so let's say I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm done. Awesome possum. I just have to find out which one I'm doing. This is a previous example. I just have to close out some of my layers. Okay. It's going to go to that one. Awesome. Okay, so now I have to get this image into my name assignment. So the easiest way to do that is to right-click on the layer, go to Duplicate Layer, and it's going to go Destination. This is the important part. So I click on Destination and go to Name Assignment. And it's going to copy that layer into my name assignment, which is right here. But you might notice, oh, okay, I don't really like that spot. And right now I have the Eraser tool selected, but I want the Move tool selected. So I just click up here to the Move tool at the very top. And if I'm on my layer 1, which is my face, I can kind of see that by turning on and off the little eyeball. I can move that. Okay, if I like it right there, perfect. Let's say it's too big. Okay, another shortcut you need to learn is Command T. So if I just hit Command T, it shows me the size of that other image. Okay, and if I hold Shift and grab one of these corners, it'll let me make the image bigger or smaller. If I don't hold Shift, it'll make it skinny or fat and wreck it. Okay, so hold Shift, and that way if I just want to make it bigger or smaller, I can. And just let go and hit Enter. whenever you see like these little nodes, they're called, you always have to hit enter to say, yeah, I'm done playing with the size, I'm good. And then I can put it in the bottom right hand corner. Perfect. So now I have all the elements. I have a background, I have text, and I have my picture. This is perfect. So this assignment is done, but I have to save it somewhere. So make sure you always save it by hitting like Command S. I always make a folder that has my saved work just in case something goes wrong. So I'm gonna save it like that. Awesome, save, perfect. But now I'm ready to put it up on my blog, okay? So this next step is how to save for the internet. Very important step. File, save for web and device. Okay, there's other ways of doing it, but this is the only correct way, and there's a lot of reasons for that. So make sure whenever you're saving your image, you go save for web and devices. And you're gonna get a little pop-up screen. And I don't know why, but it always zooms into your image. Yeah, so I always click on this little minus button here, and that'll show me my whole image. Okay, I'm happy with it, perfect. Now, all I do is change this. I think when you guys get it, it's GIF, but I change it to JPEG, okay? So right here where it says JPEG, okay? And then now what you want to look at is the size, okay? For the internet, it won't save properly if this number is over 100, okay? So what I want you to do is try to get it right around 100, and how you do that is with this little quality. So if you click on that, you can turn it up, and you can see anytime I change it, it changes this number. Okay, so I just want to turn it up until I get to around 100. Okay, 117, a little bit high. I can get closer than that. 93 is a little low. Perfect, 101, I love it. All I do is hit save. And make sure you name it properly. Yeah, I'm just going to say name assignment, put it on my desktop. Awesome, save. Now, if I go to my desktop, Photoshop, hide Photoshop. My desktop is really messy, but it is here. Okay, so that's the image we're going to put up on our desktop. Remember when we had Morgan's computer where we had a folder called assignments? We have a finish folder. You might want to say a new folder saying final project pictures. And that way we would put that image up there. Okay, so tomorrow's class we'll be going through how to actually get that up on your blog.